A prospect management system is a method for tracking sales opportunities and leads from the moment they are identified and documented to the point that they become secured business. Sales organizations commonly refer to the sales funnel because as you move from the starting point to the final point, the field narrows as you move through the various stages of the sales process. It begins with a name, either the name of a company or better still, the name of an individual. At the top of the funnel, we have suspects. Suspects are businesses or individuals that you suspect may offer an opportunity for business. The goal is to identify those sales opportunities that you are unable to advance by doing research and calling on them, and then removing them from your list or database, which leaves you with qualified prospects. Qualified prospects are those businesses or individuals that you've been able to isolate as bona fide opportunities via your prospecting efforts, by doing additional research, and having conversations with end users, key influencers, and/or decision makers. As we all know, you will have to make many attempts to connect with people before you can have success with completed phone calls, or in those cases where prospects actually respond to your emails, a successful exchange of emails. Ultimately, your communication efforts must eventually result in a booked appointment. A booked appointment is a firm meeting that the prospect has agreed to, which can be face to face or by phone. No matter how good you are or how professional your base of prospects are, getting stood up, being no-showed, experiencing cancellations or postponements is part of the sales profession. You obviously can't advance the sales opportunity when this happens. The only thing that really counts is actual completed appointments where you're able to complete a needs assessment. This is where your skills are really put to the test and you have a serious opportunity to qualify the prospect on the likelihood of doing business. If you are selling less complex solutions or products and services that sell for a lower price point, you might be able to close the business in a single visit. For those involved in more complex sales opportunities, you likely require a second meeting in which you present a formal proposal and/or get involved in other selling strategies and requirements where samples are used or a demonstration is necessary. You may even have a third and final meeting where formalities are addressed and a contract is signed. The average length of time from identifying a prospect to close business is referred to as the sales cycle. Many companies use customer relationship management or contact management software to track all of these sales activities, and they are able to use the data to generate important statistics that pinpoint steps in the sales process where individual sales reps are facing challenges and may benefit from specific sales training and/or coaching. Your prospect database, contact management system or CRM, is a valuable resource for generating future business. What responsibilities and activities must you stay on top of in order to make certain that you are managing your prospect list to the best of your abilities? Stay on top of active prospects, adding new information to notes as it is acquired, and making certain that to-do items are recorded and that the system is properly used to ensure timely follow-up and follow-through. Information is accurate and up-to-date, including spelling of all information, mailing address, contact numbers, email addresses, contact names and proper titles. Mailing lists are effectively categorized by potential client application to products and/or services, and all necessary companies and contacts are updated, added, or deleted. When using information for special occasions, i.e. birthdays, anniversaries, etc., making certain that information is accurate, up to date, and that new information is constantly being accumulated and added to the database. When working on competitive opportunities where time-bound contractual agreements or leases are in place, it is critical to add important information such as this. Companies that have contractual agreements with clients always have a leg up on the competition as long as the client is satisfied with their services, and they will always strive to renew contracts before competitors can create an opportunity to get involved. Professional selling is a numbers game, and the study of metrics has become a science within companies that are more sophisticated, structured, and streamlined. Having an understanding of the numbers and ratios in your industry and then leveraging that knowledge will help you minimize the emotional ups and downs and make your business revenues and earnings from commissions and bonuses more predictable. You must have a database of clients to call on, and the first priority is identifying qualified prospects. Let's say you have a list of 100 qualified prospects and you begin phoning them to secure an appointment. Those that you are unsuccessful connecting with will remain on your list and you will continue to pursue them. Your goal is completed phone calls. When you make 100 phone calls, you may only get to speak with 30 prospects. This is your first ratio. Of the 30 that you speak with, you will not be successful in securing appointments with all of them. Some will put you off to a later date, some will put you off permanently, and your goal is to schedule booked appointments. If you are successful scheduling appointments with 10 prospects, this becomes your second ratio. On or before the appointment date, some prospects may postpone, cancel, or even be a no-show on the appointment date. Depending on the level of professionalism within your client base that you sell to, this may be rare or more frequent. Ultimately, your overall success rate hinges on actual completed appointments. If your cancellation, postponement, and no-show rate is low, you may be successful in meeting with 9 of 10 of the prospects that you scheduled meetings with. After doing a thorough needs assessment and qualifying the opportunity, you may find that 3 of the prospects that you meet with are solid opportunities that justify a second meeting. At this second meeting, you are with a serious and qualified prospect. You may be presenting a proposal, viewing samples, etc. Of the 3 well-qualified prospects that you present to, 2 of them may justify a third meeting. The final formal step in which a contract is being signed. During that third and final meeting, one of the 2 prospects that you meet with may be agreeable to proceeding and you have landed a new client. In addition, you will want to gain an understanding of the average selling cycle time in terms of weeks, what the average customer is worth in terms of annual sales revenue, and how many new customers you need each month. If you earn commissions, bonuses, or incentives, you can use this information to calculate the amount of activity and revenue required in order to generate your income goal. In selling environments where sales cycles are longer and multiple visits are required before securing business opportunities, I recommend the implementation of a weekly business forecast. This is a more mature manner of managing business opportunities and preferred to a tedious system of reporting back on individual prospecting and follow-up activities. When you utilize business forecasts, the focal point becomes qualified prospects once they are in the sales funnel and the strength of the opportunity warrants that they stand out as serious business potential. If you use a contact management system or CRM, doing separate paperwork may be an unnecessary duplication of effort. However, in some instances, it might be worthwhile to raise your consciousness, and in cases where no system exists, using a business forecast makes perfect sense. A business or sales forecast is an educated, experienced projection of what business you expect to secure based on current activity. It is based on probability or percentage of likelihood. Once you have a realistic understanding of the likelihood of acquiring success, you can begin to ask yourself some serious questions about your involvement with the account. What can be done to improve your odds of securing the business? What is the next step in the sales process? What additional information must be gathered? What assistance do you need moving forward? And are you being realistic about the situation and the expected outcome? In sales, we should prepare and present business or sales forecasts to our peer group on a weekly basis. We do so in order to stay on top of our market, For awareness, having a quality understanding of your current business potential. To identify shortcomings, not enough active opportunities to meet sales targets. For time/activity management, when you have a tremendous workload and are stretched too thin. And for creating a plan of action when you face too many or too few opportunities. From a management perspective, the business forecast provides a snapshot of new prospects to ensure that volume of new business generation is sufficient. It highlights current and urgent opportunities, and it identifies stalled or lost opportunities. This ensures that management is aware of activity in order to provide support where it is needed most, that they maintain adequate inventory quantities, manpower, physical resources, and financial resources or cash flow. Explanation of the business forecast form. What information should be included in a business forecast? Company or organization. Identify the name of the account. Key contact. Name the primary contact or decision maker that you are working with. Phone number. List the phone number or numbers for the key contact and also extension numbers if applicable. Last contact date. This would be the most recent date that you had either physical, telephone, or electronic communication with the individual. If you have left voicemails or sent emails and there has been no return communication, this would not count. It has to be the last time that communication was reciprocated. Recommended solution. What product and accessories have you proposed or recommended to the prospect? Stick with the primary products. A detailed list of accessories or less significant components isn't necessary. Projected revenue. What is the value of the sale, or what amount would the client be invoiced for once they receive approval? Anticipated closing date. Based on the information that you've been able to gather, when, what day, will they receive approval, or when will the funding become available? Likelihood, percentage of securing the business. How confident are you that they will receive approval and funding for the solution, products and services? If it is a competitive scenario, how strong are your chances of winning the business? This number should be based on information that you've been able to gather through your communications with the client and those who are involved in the decision-making process. It should be an educated and informed estimation, not just a gut feel guess. Next step. Based on what you've done to date, what is the next activity or action that must take place in order to advance the sales process and move towards a signed contract or purchase order number? Examples might include demonstration, proposal presentation, follow-up phone call, getting back to the client with some information or documentation, meeting with end users, etc. Business forecasts allow the manager and the sales representative to focus their efforts and dialogue on serious opportunities that require greater and more immediate attention. They force people to be more realistic about opportunities and ask themselves better quality questions in order to advance the sales process and eventually close the business. They also offer a clear view of the future that helps to remove negative emotion from the profession of selling, and once people gain some experience using them, they make their business building efforts more consistent and predictable. This concludes step number 9 of the learning path. Please click on the green Next button with the white arrow in order to advance when you are ready to proceed.